December 2023, a shocking case of sexual abuse came to light in Missouri, involving a 26-year-old math teacher named Haley Clifton Carrick and her 16-year-old male student. This case, which unfolded in the small community of Lacqui, Missouri, would reveal not only the predatory actions of a teacher, but also the disturbing complicity of the victim's father, painting a complex picture of abuse, negligence, and betrayal. Haley Clifton Carrick, a math teacher at Lacqui High School, had been employed at the school for a relatively short time. By all outward appearances, she was a young professional embarking on her career in education. However, beneath this facade lay a dark secret that would soon be exposed, forever altering the lives of those involved. The case first came to the attention of law enforcement on December 22, 2023, when a confidential witness reported suspicions of an inappropriate relationship between Clifton Carrick and one of her students. This witness, whose identity remains protected, provided crucial information that would set the investigation in motion. According to the probable cause statement filed by investigators, the confidential witness had become aware of the sexual relationship between Clifton Carrick and the 16-year-old student in a particularly shocking manner. The victim had reportedly shown the witness pictures of scratches on his back, claiming they were inflicted during a sexual encounter with Clifton Carrick. Even more disturbingly, this encounter had allegedly taken place in the driveway of the witness's own home. The witness also reported overhearing a phone conversation between Clifton Carrick and the victim, in which she said, "I can send you money, baby." This statement suggested not only an inappropriate emotional attachment, but also potential financial entanglement between the teacher and student. As investigators delved deeper into the case, they uncovered a pattern of behavior that suggested Clifton Carrick had been grooming her students for some time. The confidential witness described her as being too friendly with students and dressing inappropriately at school. According to the witness, Clifton Carrick would wear tight or low-cut shirts to show off her headlights and light leggings that accentuated her private areas. Moreover, it was reported that Clifton Carrick had a habit of openly discussing her personal life with her class, a behavior that had apparently already drawn the attention of the school administration. The witness stated that Clifton Carrick had previously gotten into trouble for being too close with students, raising questions about why more decisive action had not been taken earlier to address these red flags. The investigation moved quickly. On December 23, 2023, just a day after receiving the initial tip, the sheriff's office received information that Clifton Carrick was planning to leave town for Texas for the holidays. Crucially, she allegedly planned to meet with the teenage victim before her departure. Investigators acted swiftly, and on January 3, 2024, they interviewed a second confidential witness. This witness provided even more shocking information, revealing that the victim's father was aware of the sexual relationship between his son and Clifton Carrick. According to this witness, both Clifton Carrick and the victim had informed the father of their relationship. Even more disturbingly, the father had allegedly told the witness that Clifton Carrick and his son had been engaging in sexual activities at school, using other students as lookouts. The father also admitted that Clifton Carrick had visited their residence before she left for Texas. When confronted with the possibility that this information would be reported to authorities, the father's response was chilling. He reportedly said, "They're going to do it behind my back, so I may as well let it happen." He even stated that he would lie for his son if necessary, demonstrating a disturbing willingness to cover up the abuse. Following these revelations, investigators interviewed the father, who acknowledged that Clifton Carrick had indeed been to their residence before leaving for Texas. This admission corroborated the information provided by the second confidential witness, and implicated the father in facilitating the inappropriate relationship. Meanwhile, Clifton Carrick had traveled to Texas as planned. Upon learning of the allegations against her, law enforcement in Texas arrested her, and she was subsequently extradited back to Missouri to face charges. When initially questioned by detectives, Clifton Carrick denied all accusations, claiming she had never had contact with the teenager outside of school. In what would prove to be a crucial misstep, she willingly handed over her phone to investigators. The detective noted that Clifton Carrack didn't display the typical behavior of someone facing such serious accusations, perhaps indicating a belief that she could outsmart the investigation. However, a search warrant executed on Clifton Carrack's phone revealed damning evidence. Investigators discovered conversations between her and the teenage victim about their relationship. It was also reported that she had sent the minor nearly nude photos of herself, adding potential child pornography charges to her already serious legal troubles. As the case progressed, Clifton Carrack eventually agreed to a plea deal. In exchange for pleading guilty to a felony charge of sexual contact with a student. Other charges, including child molestation, rape, and child endangerment, were dropped. This plea bargain has been a point of contention, with some arguing that the deal was too lenient given the severity and duration of the abuse. According to Pulaski County Prosecuting Attorney Kevin Hillman, Clifton Carrack could face up to 4 years in prison under Missouri's Sex Offender Assessment Program. While this represents a significant consequence, some have questioned whether it's sufficient given the nature of her crimes and the breach of trust involved. The case took another turn when the victim's father was charged with child endangerment for allegedly facilitating, encouraging, and allowing the abuse to continue. This unusual charge highlights the complex and disturbing nature of the case, where a parent not only failed to protect their child but actively enabled the abuse. The father's case is currently on hold pending Clifton Carrack's sentencing, which is scheduled for October. Prosecutors have indicated that the father has agreed to testify and assist the state if needed, suggesting he may be seeking a deal of his own in exchange for cooperation against Clifton Carrack. This case raises several important issues that extend beyond the immediate parties involved. First and foremost, it highlights the ongoing problem of sexual abuse in schools and the vulnerability of students to predatory teachers. Despite increased awareness and stricter policies in recent years, cases like this continue to occur, underscoring the need for continued vigilance and improved safeguards. The grooming behaviors exhibited by Clifton Carrack, inappropriate dress, overly familiar relationships with students, and sharing personal information, are typical red flags that schools and fellow teachers need to be trained to recognize and report. The fact that these behaviors were apparently noticed but not adequately addressed points to potential systemic failures in the school's ability to protect its students. The case also brings into focus the complex dynamics of sexual abuse cases involving male victims and female perpetrators. While all forms of sexual abuse are traumatic and criminal, societal attitudes sometimes minimize the impact of abuse on male victims, particularly when the perpetrator is female. This case serves as a stark reminder that such abuse is equally damaging and criminal, regardless of the gender of the victim or perpetrator. The role of technology in facilitating and providing evidence of abuse is another key aspect of this case. Like many similar cases, much of the evidence against Clifton Carrack came from electronic communications and photos shared via smartphone. This underscores both the ways in which technology can be used to perpetrate abuse and its crucial role in providing evidence for prosecution. Perhaps one of the most disturbing elements of this case is the alleged complicity of the victim's father. His reported willingness to not only turn a blind eye to the abuse, but to actively facilitate it, represents a profound betrayal of parental responsibility. This aspect of the case highlights the complex family dynamics that can sometimes enable abuse and the need for community-wide vigilance in protecting minors. As the case moves towards its conclusion, with Clifton Carrack's sentencing and the resolution of charges against the father, many questions remain. What long-term impact will this abuse have on the teenage victim? Will the school face any liability for potentially overlooking warning signs? How will the community heal from this breach of trust? Moreover, this case serves as a sobering reminder of the ongoing need for robust child protection measures in schools and communities. It highlights the importance of thorough background checks for teachers, ongoing training for school staff to recognize signs of inappropriate behavior, and clear protocols for reporting and addressing concerns. The Haley Clifton Carrick case, with its layers of abuse, negligence, and betrayal, stands as a stark example of the complex challenges involved in protecting minors from sexual predators. It underscores the need for vigilance from all members of a community: teachers, administrators, parents, and fellow students in recognizing and reporting signs of potential abuse. As the legal proceedings continue and the community grapples with the aftermath of this case, it's clear that its impact will be felt for years to come. The hope is that from this tragic situation, lessons can be learned and implemented to better protect vulnerable young people from those who would exploit and abuse them. In the end, the case of Haley Clifton Carrick is not just about one teacher's criminal actions or one father's unconscionable neglect. It's a call to action for schools, families, and communities to redouble their efforts in safeguarding the well-being of children and young people, ensuring that those entrusted with their care and education are worthy of that sacred trust.